Hi guys, it's Jasmine here. In this video, I'm going to explain what permanent makeup actually is. So permanent makeup, or PMU, which is what we call it, is the process of implanting pigment into the dermal layer of the skin in order to achieve a nice flattering makeup replacement for either the brows, lips or eyeliner. You can also perform medical procedures such as areola, scarring, and also scalp as well. So the reason we call it permanent makeup over semi-permanent makeup, as from a legal perspective, we don't actually know for sure when all of the pigment particles will leave the skin. We think that indefinitely the pigment particles will still be there in 10 years time, but you just won't see them by your eye. So calling it semi-permanent makeup, it's a bit of a grey area, as some clients will hold the pigment on for 1 year, some clients will hold it on for 5, 10, it depends on a lot of factors. For example, if the artist is using pigments or inks, their technique, their machine, their needles, the depth they're working. So all of these different things will influence how long the permanent makeup will last. So it's better to use the term permanent makeup that fades over time, as every client is completely different. That covers you, and it sort of tells the client that it could be 1 year, it could be 5. So for me, that is the safest word to use, and it explains it quite well. So permanent makeup is a mild form of a tattoo. So we still use needles, very small needles, we still use pigments and inks, and we're tattooing into the upper dermal layer of the skin. So it is basically a tattoo. You know, if you're using needles and putting sort of substance into the skin, that is a tattoo. So you do have to be over 18 to get the treatment done. The only way that you can get it as a minor is if it's a medical reason and you have consent from your parents or your doctor, or both, such as alopecia, etc. So permanent makeup has been around for many years, and every year we see it improving drastically. The techniques are getting better, the machines, the pigments, it's all getting much better, and we can create super realistic natural results such as realism brows or sheer lips and lash line. Or you can create more of a lipstick replacement, a makeup replacement such as your ombre eyebrows or your HD lips and your feline classic eyeliner. So every client will be able to have something that they want, whether it be natural or whether it be more drastic. So as well as men can get many treatments done. They can get it done to look very natural if they've got like a scar in their eyebrow or medical reasons. So there is literally a treatment for everyone, whether you're 18 or 80. It's very vast, and there is something for everyone. So permanent makeup, we apply pigment into the skin, which means that you may need some multiple sessions in order to get the treatment perfect. So usually we have the initial session of permanent makeup, and then 6 weeks after you come back for a review session just to see how the skin has healed, if you have any little imperfections, which is quite common because the skin naturally wants to expel the pigment from the skin as it sees it as a foreign body. So don't be alarmed if you have a little tiny patch in your permanent makeup. That's what that second session is there for. Then after that second session, usually we recommend a yearly top up between 12 and 18 months to freshen up the permanent makeup. But if you don't need that, then leave it longer. You don't want to saturate the skin every year if you retain the pigment really well, because the more times you have it, the more saturation you'll get. So it's nice that it fades a little bit. It fades sort of, again, different on everyone, but by that fading process, it gives you the chance to change the colour, to change the style. You might want to go for a slightly different shape on the eyebrow. So it is really good that it does fade over time, because trends change. You might drastically change your hair colour, or you might get surgery. You know, there's so many different things that can happen in the course of a few years. So I do believe it's a good thing that it fades over time, just to give you that leeway of, if you want to change it, you absolutely can. So with the permanent makeup, because we are using very small needles to enter the upper dermis, you may feel a little slight scratch on the surface, but it shouldn't be excruciatingly painful. We do use topical numbing creams to numb the area before. Every artist does the treatment a little bit different, so some artists might not numb at all, but you can apply topical numbing cream before your treatment, and that's used throughout, so it is very bearable. But again, every client is different. Every client has different sensitivity. I have clients that find it a little bit scratchy, and I have clients completely fall asleep. So it very much depends on who you are as a person and how sensitive you are. If you are due on your period, you may be a little bit more sensitive as well. So bear that in mind. You might want to plan it around that. And obviously, if you're a guy, you've not got to worry about that, which is amazing. So before you have the permanent makeup actual treatment, there is a process. You don't just come in and lay down and we do it. You are very heavily involved in the treatment plan in regards of shape, colour, the style, and how we would do the actual treatment. So you would have a consultation before you start. Every artist does it a bit differently. I tend to do the consultation on the day before we start the treatment. If a client is a little bit nervous or they want to meet me first, we can have a virtual consultation before the treatment, just to sort of go through a few things and explain the treatment process. But we would draw the shape on before, we would choose the colours together, and then we would start the treatment with the style that we're going to go for. For example, if you're having eyebrows, you can either have hair strokes, shading, or a combination. With lips, you can have a natural, sheer, transparent lip, or you can have more of a lipstick effect, like a HD lip. And then for eyeliner, you can have lash line, delicate liner, shaded eyeliner, and more of a feline liner for more of a drastic, classic wing. So all of this information will be discussed before the treatment, and you would get to see that when we pre-draw the design on. So who would get the permanent makeup and who is it for? And it's actually for anyone that wants to enhance their natural features. It can really boost your confidence as well if you're lacking hair growth, or if you have, you know, alopecia. We can really create a very natural result, and it will just massively boost your confidence and your self-esteem. And that's what it's all about. We're not here to create something that's gonna look really obvious and stand out. As me personally, I want it to blend with my client. I want it to suit your personality and really help you feel confident in yourself. So with permanent makeup, with the idea of using a very small needle, please don't worry about that. It really isn't an intrusive treatment. People think, oh, permanent makeup is going to give me scarring, it's going to be bad for my skin. It really isn't. With permanent makeup, we're not cutting the skin like a microblade. We are inserting the pigment. Think of like a sewing machine effect. The needle comes in and out of the cartridge really fast, and it creates loads of little dots of pixels of colour in the skin. We're not physically causing a cut to the skin, so it's really not going to damage your skin. If anything, it can promote more hair growth because we are penetrating into the dermal layer, which is where your hair growth is for your eyebrows. So you're not going to create any scarring, obviously, if it's done correctly. So I really wouldn't worry too much about causing damage to your skin. It really isn't an intrusive treatment. So I hope this has made sense and has sort of cleared up any questions you had about PMU. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.